Hi, everyone. It's been lots of talks and discussions, arguments, and even huge fights about this whole new conspiracy being veganism. So many flat earthers, so many truthers, so many people who are actually awake on so many other levels, all of a sudden have come to this understanding that veganism is an agenda of the system of control, the agenda of the patriarchs to keep people sick, weak, and enslaved. Really? Whoa, this is really something. I've been a vegan for altogether 27 years. When I started veganism, I came from Iran, and one of the biggest vegan raw food societies at that time, almost 40 years ago, was in Iran, in my country. Who had ever heard about veganism being a new world order? I call it ODOR, one world order. What is this? I mean, how can we do this? And the flesh eating, animal sacrifice, blood sacrifice that is done by the vampires within us are not responsible for one world order of flesh eating criminal action against 70 billion animals. Look at the way that the animal farming is happening everywhere in the world, spread heavily with huge amounts of greed and money involved to enslave humanity and hooking almost 99% of the world population on eating the suffering animals that have been tortured severely and then what? Killed in the most grotesque ways, disrespected, malnourished, tons of hormones given to them, tons of pesticides going to them. Even the majority of the fish of the world is caught to be given to the farm animals at all levels unsustainable for you to have your flesh and eat it too. And that's not the odor of a very dysfunctional, hierarchical, patriarchal, disgusting system of humanity that we have created as a collective together? Which one looks more like a one world order agenda? The agenda of animal eating started how many years ago? Thousands of years ago? Well, at least at the beginning of the globe Earth deception, all the scientists that came through and they brought us what? The four food categories with the flesh of animals being on top, like the most important part. How could that not be an agenda? And all this argument that's going back and forth that look at nature, all the animals are eating meat, so if the nature dictates, you're going against nature, and by being vegans you are not only weakening yourself but what, creating chaos and disorder in this world, and you are satanic. How off such an argument can be ever. So this person wrote on one of the videos and said, look, the blood of the animals is very important for us because that blood goes into our bodies and it marks the carbon stamp upon our species, and because of that we continue our species. If we don't eat animals, we are not going to continue our species, basically that. Really? I mean, how off can that be? The entire vegetation of the earth plane that has been created for us to eat and nourish us, all of the sudden has become a taboo, has become a wrong thing, a satanic thing to do. And you say that it's so natural for you to eat an animal. Really? If that's the way of nature, I challenge you, every one of you, to go catch the smallest animal that you can get. Let's say you're so hungry, you haven't eaten anything at all, and you see a mice. Okay? If you're a meat eater, you should be able to eat that mice. First of all, go catch it. Good luck with your bare hands. Okay, let's say you're smarter because you believe, be in the lie that we came through evolution and we were monkeys, and then all our ancestors cut the animals, and here I go catch an animal. Okay, you're smarter. And then you put a sheet or a net there and you catch the mice. Okay, now I challenge you to try to eat it without a knife. Kill it. Okay, step upon it. Okay, you killed it. Good for you. Strong, smart man, woman. Okay, you killed it. Now try to eat it. With your dilated pupils, that is so hungry, and your heartbeat that is really high, cut through the flesh of that mice or that little rabbit. Eat it with its hair, with its blood, with its eyes, and cut through the bones. I wonder if you can do it at all. Really? Nature designed you to do such a thing? If nature designed you, how come you're so incapable of doing it? And if your argument is that blood is necessary for us to continue, are you a part of the vampire system of this world that has enslaved the rest of us at all levels possible? And if you really need the blood, the farm animals that are killed, their blood is all drained. All the animals that are killed, their blood are drained before they get to you. And then what? Let's say that the blood was not drained and it gets to you, a piece of flesh with blood in it. Then what do you do with it? You just tear it apart with your teeth and eat it? Or you cook it because you're so unnatural. You have gone away from nature so far that you cannot eat that animal. And if 90% of the women of the world saw how these animals are killed, they will never touch the flesh of another animal. That's how natural this is for us. Even the men. You just go to a slaughterhouse and see what happens to you. So, this whole argument that the vegetation of the world is not enough nutrition for us and we need the flesh of animals, this is indoctrinated education, deception, like everything else. We live in the hugest lie. So, they told us that we need the 4 food groups, with the animal flesh and the dairy being 2 of them. How grotesque that is, being 2 of the 4 food groups, whereas all the billion food groups that we need are in the form of all kinds of seeds, nuts, and vegetations and herbs all over the world. How come we never learned that? Don't you think there is an agenda there that is keeping us away from nature? I really want you to sit down and think about it. My brother, my sister, we are hooked on a system of killing and criminality. You know, I went to Standing Rock and I was there for 2 weeks, and I was amazed that all the preaching that was happening, that this is completely peaceful, nonviolent protest against the system that is really corrupt. Yet at the same time, they were eating billions of tons of flesh of animals there. Where are we stuck in our psyche for hundreds and thousands of years and we don't even know it? This is time to wake up. There is no way to be out of the karmic cycle without stopping to eat the flesh and the milk of animals. And that is known by the dark ones of us who are controlling the entire humanity, or at least they think they're doing it. So if we are under their influence, we continue eating the flesh of animals because they know, that part of us knows that once you give yourself into flesh eating, there is no way out of the karmic cycles of rebirthing and dying and rebirthing and dying. And you age very fast with all that flesh and juices of animals, let alone with it being cooked and distorted and really, really, really destroyed at all levels before it even gets into your body. I just had to talk about it. There's so much arguments going on, and the flesh eaters are just ridiculing the vegans for being nonviolent. Oh yes. Oh, I'm being violent right now for the way I'm talking, right? That's not acceptable, but it is acceptable for you to participate in the killing of 70 billion animals a year? And for me to just stay quiet and stay polite and say nothing about that, the same way that the forces that should not be go kill 2 million people in Iraq, and oh, we should just sit down and let it be because it's all perfection. No, we have created this mess together. It's time for all of us together to end this mess. The destruction of the world is within all of us. The construction of the world is within all of us too, because we live in a collective consciousness. This is time now to wake up. Wake up to much, much deeper truth. And this one thing, letting go with flesh eating and animal sacrifices and the blood sacrifice that gives so much energy to the powers that should not be within us and without us, has to go. It has to go. Thank you.